Welcome into the Garden Report. Mariah, Janos, and Bobby Manning here with you talking all things Celtics. And we're going to start with Marcus Smart. Now, both he and the Celtics in general have talked about him stepping up his shooting game, taking the shot when it's available because he does have a good shot. When his shot is good, you can tell, and it's there. And they've really made it a point to emphasize on that. What are your thoughts on letting Marcus Smart shoot more?
They're going to always let him shoot. That's been the thing with him since the day he got here. And it's been like we're talking about 6 years now, pretty much, of that being the most divisive topic among Celtics fans and people who talk about the team. Should Smart be shooting as much as he does? In the playoffs, especially, it felt like 50% of his shots were coming from three. And he opens this year going 1 for 8 from three. The other night, the Celtics take a million threes, 8 for 45 more specifically. And he was part of that 8 for 10 stretch where they took 8 threes out of their first 10 to open up the Nets game. And everyone's asking again, should he be jacking shots at this rate? So it was interesting. On Saturday, the Celtics come out of practice, and Brad, one of the first things he said, I asked him, what's been the focus with how rough of a preseason it's been? And he said establishing roles. One of the things he said, and where I pull Smart out of that, is we can't be trying to do too much. And, we can't be trying to replace the guys who aren't here directly like Kemba Walker and try to do what they do. So what's that going to mean for Smart? He talked about it a little bit today. Feels like he's going to try to reel things in. And what Steven said specifically is focused on organizing the offense and not trying to be so much of a hero, not trying to do too much in that sense. So does that mean shooting less? Both Smart and Steven said he's going to shoot when he's open within the flow of the offense. But does that mean less pull-up shots? Does that mean less threes in transition? Seems clear that they had a conversation about this. They didn't get too deep into it, but Smart ended practice. I guess the last question was, are you going to shoot less or something to that effect? And he said, when I'm open, I'm a great shooter. So we'll see where it goes. There's been a conversation before. He's always shot a lot. I think last year he was pushing, 8, 9 threes per game. So I think that is the key. If he catches it and he's open, shoot away. If he's in transition and there's better options, or if he's running the offense, maybe don't pull up 3 seconds into the shot clock.
Yeah, that makes sense. This segment is presented by the Legends brand. Visit thelegendsbrand.com/Horford and use the promo code Horford20 to get 20% off your next purchase. That's thelegendsbrand.com/Horford and use promo code Horford20. Now, you just mentioned it, kind of everyone's sticking to their roles. A lot of the times in the NBA, we see these teams with one or two really powerful, high caliber players that seem to kind of run the show. Do you think that this Celtics team is going to be most effective with everyone sticking to their individual roles? Like you said, not doing too much here and there, but everyone doing their one job and it coming together that way. Because let's be real, there's not really any major stars on this Celtics team. You've got Jason Tatum, you've got Jaylen Brown, but I'm talking LeBron style. I'm talking James Harden. We don't have anyone like that here in Boston. So do you think it's the most effective for these guys to stick to playing their individual parts?
Yeah, certainly. And there is a hierarchy on the team that we're seeing established. It's Tatum at the top. They're going to have the ball in his hands more. He's going to be doing more than ever before in terms of ball handling, in terms of creation. He's made that clear from what they're outlining for him this year. Jaylen Brown's the interesting one. Do they have him on the ball a little bit more? Do they have him creating for himself in that regard? We haven't heard from him since this whole role thing became a topic, but he seems like the number 2 option on the team. And if they're pulling it back from Smart in that regard and they're focusing on him setting those guys up more, I think that's how this is going to be most effective. But I do look at Smart because he's going to have the ball in his hands more than anyone else. And it's going to go one of two ways. Either he's going to be trying to do a ton with it himself, or he's going to be setting up guys like we've seen him do in the past. So those are going to be the keys there. As for everyone else, it's all uncertain. So, what's an Aaron Naismith's role going to be? What's Peyton Pritchard's role going to be? They're so early into their careers that they're going to have to feel it out themselves. And I think it's tougher to imagine what those guys are going to be doing. But you're right. Role players, they got to stick to their roles this year and kind of just defer to Tatum and Brown to do a ton for this team. Is it always going to be successful? No, but it's what they're going to have to do to survive early in this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Early in this year is the key word there. I feel like there's going to be a lot of growing pains to start out the season. So
Yeah.
I guess only time will tell. For all of our Celtics coverage, head to clnsmedia.com and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.